The Dutch, Belgian and German borders are famous around the world for being a complete mess, so much so that it regularly attracts tourists. For example, Balen-Nassau and Balen-Hertog between the Netherlands and Belgium that quite literally splits a town in half, and the Venbahn railway between Germany and Belgium, a German railway line awarded to Belgium after Germany's World War I defeat, which created confusing exclaves. However, most people are unaware that at the tripoint between the Netherlands, Germany and Belgium, near the town of Vaals, used to be Europe's only quadrupoint, possibly the most mysterious and forgotten territory in the world. This is a strange case of neutral Moresnet. After Emperor Napoleon's defeat at Waterloo, the Congress of Vienna redrew Europe's borders. Near the town of Moresnet was a valuable zinc spar mine, called Altenberg, near the old Dutch and Prussian borders. The representatives at the Congress of Vienna couldn't agree on who gets to control the mine, so the representatives agreed to create a condominium between the Dutch and Prussians, and it was called Neutral Moresnet. A condominium is a region where the parties recognize each other's sovereignty over said region, and in the case of Neutral Moresnet, a joint Dutch and Prussian region was established whereby both countries control it equally. It was agreed that the town of Moresnet would belong to the United Kingdom of the Netherlands as part of the Liège province, so despite having the name, it has never actually been a part of Neutral Moresnet. The neighbouring town of Kelmis, along with the zinc mine, became the capital city of Neutral Moresnet. In 1831, Belgium gained independence from the Dutch, and the town of Moresnet became a part of Belgium, giving Neutral Moresnet a third border to the west. Not much happened to Neutral Moresnet until 1919, when it just disappeared off the face of the earth. It was quietly and fully absorbed into Belgium as part of the Treaty of Versailles at the end of World War I. The reason was because the zinc mine was by then exhausted, so the very point of having a condominium set up was pointless by then. So it was just annexed by Belgium in the hopes that no one would ever lay an eye to the fact that Belgium actually annexed Neutral Moresnet without consulting the Dutch. The Germans obviously never needed consulting because they lost the war, so they wouldn't have a saying in carving up Neutral Moresnet. But the Dutch, who had never entered World War I, and who never sent representatives to the peace conference at Versailles, were completely oblivious to what the victorious powers were planning to do with Neutral Moresnet. Neutral Moresnet was by then completely forgotten by everyone surrounding them, and today what was once Neutral Moresnet is just a distant memory for a few. Neutral Moresnet was 3.37 square kilometers and after 1831 bordered three countries, the Netherlands to the north, Belgium to the west, and to the east the Prussian Rhine province, which later unified into the German Empire. The territory only had up to 4,500 residents and was an incredibly diverse country. Not to the extent of China, but had people from Germany, Flanders, Wallonia and the Netherlands living there, many of whom were working at the zinc mine. However, people born in Neutral Moresnet became stateless. Soldiers from all surrounding countries were banned, as entering would constitute an invasion if deliberate or otherwise. Residents were exempt from military service, French laws were preserved, taxes were very low, with no new taxes being imposed, and the French franc was the officially recognized medium of exchange, although later the German mark, Belgian franc, and the Dutch gulden all came under circulation too. It was administered by two commissioners, one Dutch and one Prussian. The territory was notorious for being a hub for smuggling illegal narcotics, and many escaped convicts from the surrounding countries fled to Neutral Moresnet because of its small police force, lack of extradition treaties with the surrounding countries, and because any foreign officer entering Neutral Moresnet would technically be invading. But in a country so diverse and with three languages, how did they speak towards each other? Well, enter the zinc mine's chief medical doctor, who in 1908 proposed making Neutral Moresnet the world's first Esperanto-speaking country, Esperanto is the first international auxiliary language with the purpose of unifying the speakers of the world to one language that everyone in the world can speak. Enthusiastic about the idea so that German, Dutch and French speakers can speak to one another without having to learn each other's languages, Esperanto was officially adopted as the official language of Neutral Moresnet, and the World Congress of Esperanto even went so far to declare Neutral Moresnet to be the capital of the Esperanto community. Ultimately, Neutral Moresnet as a territory was never meant to last. It was merely a quick and temporary arrangement made by the great powers after Napoleon's final defeat, and it has since 1914 forever lost its status as a neutral territory, as the German army made their fateful decision to invade France through Belgium and Neutral Moresnet, and it has been largely forgotten by the world. Well, until now.